Chelsea Blue.
Hello, I'm Jonathan. This is Gary. We are Chelsea Blue Review, and we're going to be discussing the 2-1 victory over Spurs, which, how many times has that we've beaten them in the last 30 years? Something like,
Well, I think
we've only lost once, haven't we?
Yeah, we've only lost once at home, and that was, I don't know when that was, a few years ago. One out of 32 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Yeah, so
it was, play Spurs every week is a good idea.
Would be fantastic, wouldn't it? So we've maintained the record, but to use the old cliche, it was slightly a game of two halves. Spurs weren't very good, were they, Gary?
No, I think we were fortunate in the second half that Spurs were as poor as they were. Yeah. They actually didn't create that many clear chances in the second half, although they had a lot of the ball. But nothing.
They did have a few shots which were just ridiculously over the bar, going out for throw-ins. I mean, it's just quite
a couple of dangerous positions to cross the ball, and they crossed it straight into Sanchez.
Or they crossed it straight over the goal line, or it straight into Sanchez's hands.
Which was fortunate.
Very poor, but very fortunate for us, obviously.
Yeah,
but
I think,
but it makes sense because that's why they're. They've gone down to next weekend with the possibility of being relegated.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. I thought in the first half, Spurs actually started better than us, but I think as the game got on, we were.
I think also the goal took the stuffing out of Spurs. It was about 18 minutes, which was an excellent shot.
Wonderful. I mean, a wonderful
Fernandez,
curling, bent away from the goalkeeper.
Bent away from the goalkeeper into the corner. And bizarrely, when he was, he had that. His body language was obviously that he was going to shoot, and I was going, oh no, don't shoot from there. With our previous knowledge of him blasting everything over the bar or really wide, because that's what he tends to do. He scored some decent goals this season.
I mean, he's very good in the box. He gets a lot of goals in the box, but he doesn't get many out. So that one was well timed. I think at that point, Palmer had been having his best game, I thought, for a while. Certainly the first half particularly.
Yeah, I think all of these things go down to the first half. He's very industrious. Palmer got involved, was doing some nice. That business he has in turning, he moved well and he passed well. And there was some good space for him in the midfield, which allowed him to do his thing. And also, of course, there was no Pedro because he was injured. So
because he's injured. No, I mean, I think
with Delap as the focus, which was,
I couldn't work out why. I mean, there must be 4 or 5 times that we know the Enzo move when he plays the ball from the wing straight down into the number 9, straight across into the number 9 position. So basically, it's a first time pass.
Yeah,
that gives the forward a chance to get ahead of the defender. But I think he did it 4 times, and 3 times, at least 3 times, Delap lost the ball, couldn't hold the ball. He got it once, I think, and went past. But it's a really dangerous pass because it bisects their midfield.
In the same way, the number of times that Cucurella got given the ball on his own on the left-hand side, and he crossed, and similarly, Delap didn't seem to be in the right position or anywhere near. Or if he did get it, it bounced off those frying pan legs of his.
Yeah, he's not at the races. I don't know.
The second half, he did do. He actually held the ball up a few times, competently, and I think that was the best half he's had practically since January. But hey,
we can count the number of halves he's had in the season that were good. That's a bit worrying.
I think what you need to count as a centre forward, as a striker, is whether he scored any goals. And he scored one in the Premier League this season.
It never looks like scoring anything either. That's
hopeless. And he scored 1 in the Champions League. I mean, other than that, nothing. I think absolute disaster.
It just hasn't worked for him. Hasn't worked for the club, for us. So, you just wonder whether that's sort of adieu, goodbye, or whether they'll give him another go next year. I think they might. I mean, I'm not. That depends on. Obviously, depends on Alonso.
It'll depend on Alonso. Yeah. Well, the whole thing depends on whether Alonso scrutinises the squad.
What I would say, the second, going in 1-0 was, for us very good. We had a lead and we scored a goal. Second half, again, they started better, and then there was that, fortunately for us, dreadful mistake from was it Koulibaly who just passed the ball straight into the centre circle for Palmer.
Yes.
And then, of course, he's off. And then
that was really against the run of play because they stepped up a gear, Tottenham, and we were all around us. We were saying, "Oh my goodness, they're going to score." It looked to me as if they're going to score because they were suddenly faster, quicker to the ball, passing more quickly than us.
Yes,
and he made this dreadful mistake and passed it straight to Palmer. And to be fair to the team, the precision with which they scored was excellent because it was just Palmer, Neto, cross. Far post cross, Enzo
really well.
Cushion pass to Santos, who then just side-footed in.
Finished it quite well. No, but it was. I mean, the pass. I did actually watch a little bit of the Sky commentary, and Carragher said at that. He said the person that goal was made from, the brilliant ability of Enzo to do what he did first time and put the ball into position for
Santos to
Santos
tappy.
to score. I mean, Enzo had one of his best games, I think, for us.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I agree.
And then also when he scores, he does a strut, doesn't he? Sort of chest out and sort of.
Yes, he does. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think because everybody's singing his name and he loves that. He completely loves that. They even when they did a walk around at the end of the game, didn't they? Which hardly
a lap of
anybody
appreciation.
attended. Well, it didn't smack of like a lap of appreciation to me. It just looked like the normal route they took at the end of the game as they go round and they go to the Matthew Harding end and then they come back in front of the East Stand, and that they just did the same thing. But everybody cheered and chanted Enzo Fernandez, and as you say, he started strutting again. He liked all of that.
He likes that. I mean, I think the only thing I would say in the game as well, just at the end of it, is that we didn't manage to again concede a goal, which was sort of a bit sloppy, I would say.
But we started playing tippy tappy again. We started playing short passes out from the goalie, whereas before we'd been booting the ball up the pitch all the time. We'd been playing long balls,
and he was getting the
that
balls
was
up
an out ball, and it stretched them. Whereas suddenly we started allowing them to press. They were pressing more, and we sort of. But it doesn't make any sense. The more they press, the more one should play the long ball, really, because I suppose yes, if they do press, and you can then get the ball out very quickly, you've then kept their players are then advanced and you can beat them because there'd be less players defensively. But surely if you're then under pressure, just boot it long, instead of which we tried to play out so often, with nearly always the ball going out for a throw in or going into touch or giving us all heart attacks. That's the main thing it seems to do.
It was almost as if they sort of had some collective remembrance of Rossini's tactics, and they thought, yes, do that. And they've forgotten that manager's gone and there's somebody else there that we don't want to do that anymore. But it just seemed like they'd sort of short-term memory.
These things have been so drilled into them, then they find it difficult not to do that and play that way.
There's just too much of it because I mean, like, there were a couple of occasions that we were close to being done as well and got out of them. But I mean, you think, well,
I think a better team would have scored against us in that instance.
I mean, Madison coming on made a difference. He was their best player. I mean, as you'd expect, but he did look. I mean, there was that wonderful tackle from Hato.
Oh, and he was put through, and all he needed. I thought it was nailed on goal. It looked absolutely like
took an extra second.
He was just pulling the trigger, and then there's Hato diving across, and
lovely
a brilliant block. It was a superb block.
I think he's certainly one of our success stories this series in terms of new signings, because he's developed from the beginning to a really, really good player.
Well, interestingly, Acheampong started and had a pretty good game, didn't he? One of the things he does do that Gusto can never do is he surges down the pitch with the ball and sets people up.
So defending at times, it's a little bit worrying because obviously occasionally if you had a really good winger, I think he's a little bit short of. Well, that's experience.
Yeah, he's not the finished object, is he? Really?
No. I mean, fortunately they didn't have a good winger, so that was our advantage there. But it's a win. Last home game of the season, 3 points.
And it's against Spurs as always. Yeah. I found the second half really difficult to watch. It's when you were playing.
I think again, it's this thing when you go 2-0 up, we sort of get frightened and we go back and defend because we're very rarely.
That's what we did, but also he made some very strange substitutions, didn't he?
Yeah,
and it was that triple substitution at the end, which seemed very peculiar.
He brought on the young. He
brought on Wecker. Poor old Wecker, who apparently scores all these goals for the under 21s, and it never does anything at all for the. He just doesn't seem to have any impact. And Sugo came on.
Sugo, managed to get booked after about 5 minutes.
Earlier than that, I think first time he touched the ball.
Maybe.
Of course, Garnacho came on, so Neto went off.
Yes,
and Palmer with the bizarre Garnacho coming on, and immediately it almost looked as if he was deliberately trying to pass to Richarlison twice. Absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
Got given the ball and turned round and passed it back, not to the goalkeeper, just into the slot between the two Chelsea players where Richarlison was.
Yeah, I mean, we actually got out of it quite well.
We did, but I was
pass,
bemused by this terrible play. Interesting. Neto was replaced. Neto seemed to spend a large amount of the game moaning and gesticulating. It was a very strange performance.
We've seen that, haven't we?
We've seen that before when he does that. It's almost as if he feels he's not getting the ball enough or in the right positions, but he doesn't seem to try. Then you just think, what's going on here?